Wednesday, May 15th. Welcome to That Betting Show. I'm your host, Ted Savransky, at Teddy_covers on Twitter. And we're joined today by special guest host, Drew Martin, at Drew Martin Bets on Twitter. Let's get right into it. First off, we have to let you know about a big promo right now, and that's Bovada. Full Preakness coverage. Get $20 for nothing. Here's the code, BOVPS20. That's for the Preakness. Bovada, BOVPS, Preakness Stakes 20. That is a 7-day bonus. $20 free bet from Bovada. Take advantage of that right now. Thank you for taking advantage of our sponsors' special offer. Let's get right into it. Hot topics of the day. We're going to start with the Warriors and the Blazers from last night.
Absolutely, Teddy. Thanks for having me on. Stepping in for Donnie Seymour and excited about it. We got no Durant, no problems, Teddy, for Steph Curry and the boys. The Warriors come out guns blazing, 116-94 drop of the Portland Trailblazers. Steph Curry dropped 36 points, Teddy, along with 7 assists, 6 boards. Klay Thompson chips in with 26 points, 10 for 24 from the floor. 12 different players scored for Golden State in the win, Teddy. They look good. They look like the best team in the NBA. Early line opener for game 2 on Thursday is Golden State -8 with a total of 218. Golden State closed 7.5-point favorites with a total of 220.5 last night. So interesting line move there towards the under, but I'll throw it over to you, Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Blazers last night, they looked a little bit lost on defense. They weren't switching the way the Rockets switched, and they paid for that with the Splash Brothers going nuts. And we saw Portland win a game 7 on the road with Damian Lillard going 3 for 17 from the floor. That ain't happening in this series. You know, they're not going to win or cover point spreads without Lillard being amazing. He was not last night. And the markets, I mean, you talked about it closing 7.5. A lot of books closed 7 last night. People seem amazed that the multiple-time defending champ Warriors can win a game without Kevin Durant. Guess what? Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, pretty good last night. That's going to be a difficult matchup for the Portland Trailblazers to solve.
Teddy, we also got to talk a little MLB here. Astros continuing to terrorize MLB pitching, man. This lineup is hot. They hit righties, they hit lefties, they hit everyone. Astros hit double digits in Detroit to stay scorching hot. Correa, the shortstop, one of the best, Puerto Rico, started the party with a 3-run blast in the first inning. They never looked back off of Ryan Carpenter. Astros belted out 14 hits, struck double digits for the third time in 4 games with the 11-4 win. That is double digits for the third time in 4 games. That's an impressive stat there. Total open 9.5, closed at 10.5, and for good reason, as this one flies over, Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, the Astros are a machine right now. And remember, we're talking about MLB. It's not like football. It's not like basketball. You can't turn a winner into a loser based on the point spread. In football, someone's hot, guess what? You know, next week they're laying 14 and they're laying 17, they're laying 21. Eventually you reach a point where the point spread is too high and they're not going to cover numbers anymore. You can't do that in MLB because when you win, you win. All you can do as a bookmaker is try to price them high enough so that when they eventually lose, you get some of your money back. So it's been a real difficult situation for the bookmakers with the Astros. They're 10-1 their last 11 ball games, and all 10 wins have come by multi-run margins, all cashing on the run line. Bookmakers not enjoying the Houston Astros' current hot streak.
Teddy, we got to talk a little NBA lottery, and the Knicks can't pull off the frozen ping pong ball trick. You got to tell me about this this ping pong ball frozen, or the envelopes frozen. It sounds like some sketchy stuff going on in back in the day. But either way, we talk NBA draft here. Talking about Zion Williamson going to New Orleans, interesting kind of topic there. And this, the Knicks, they were hoping for the top pick and just getting kind of left in the dark here at the number 3. Looks like tanking doesn't always pay off in the NBA, thanks to these new draft lottery rules and the distribution of odds here, Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, look, tanking has never paid off to the extent of you've never been guaranteed the number one pick to have the worst record. I went back and looked at like the 30-year history, the 35-year history of the draft lottery, and yeah, the odds are bad for the worst teams now, but they haven't necessarily usually been all that good. Zion, Morant, Reddish likely to go 1, 2, 3. Everyone's talking about the Knicks and the Pelicans. What about the Grizzlies? They got the number 2 pick and Mike Conley. Morant likely to be sitting there at number 2. I'm interested to see what Memphis does this offseason. The Pelicans obviously get very interesting. Alvin Gentry has a big 3 now, and a team that was in tank and rebuild mode. All of a sudden, the franchise looks very, very different on a Wednesday morning. And it's funny how the Lakers find a way to move up again, defying the odds. But when you look at the Lakers' recent drafts, those top 4 picks, let's see, D'Angelo Russell. Oh, he had a good season in Brooklyn last year. Brandon Ingram, Alonzo Ball, all top 4 picks, none of whom have done a whole lot with the LA Lakers.
Moving on to the NFL, little season team preview here. NFC North, Minnesota Vikings 2019 outlook. Talking the Vikings, 22-1 right now, Teddy, to win the 2019 championship, 10-1 to win the NFC. Their team total, a good one to bet here, 8.5 in terms of smarter bets on season wins rather than futures, in my opinion. We got the Vikings finished up 2018 sitting at 8-7-1. Did have that tie. Always interesting to see that. -1 at the end of an NFL team's record there. Finishing second in the NFC South. Vikings loaded up on the O-line. Also looking for Kirk Cousins to have a bounce-back season, the former Spartan, under new offensive coordinator leadership. The Vikings kick off 2019 season, said he, facing the Atlanta Falcons, Matt Ryan and company.
Yeah, no, they didn't change coordinators. They have a new running game coordinator, Minnesota, but the head coach is there. The offensive defense coordinators remain. There's a lot of continuity with what the Vikings are doing. And this is a team that had a pretty good statistical profile last year. Plus 0.5 yards per play. That's rock solid. They outrushed their opponents by 0.1 yards per rush. Cousins, we say we need a bounce back season. The guy had a 99.7 QBR last year. Opposing teams are 83.3. That's a top 5 pass defense. He wasn't great. I don't think it was Kirk Cousins' fault for a lot of it. Net 0 in turnovers, no turnover margin last year. A slightly tougher than average schedule a year ago. Almost the same in that regard this year. Minnesota's number 1 offseason goal. This wasn't a team with a whole bunch of money to spend. They were able to bring in Anthony Barr in free agency. But really, or re-signing him, I should say. But when you talk about the guys who signed, they got Josh Klein, basically as the offensive guard. And number 1 pick, of course, in the draft, Garrett Bradbury, the center. So this is a team that really wants to put the emphasis on the offensive line because they have to protect Cousins. On paper, look, Vikings are in win now mode. And this team has a whole lot of talent. I'm not going to sell Minnesota short by any stretch of the imagination. And we say, well, here's a quarterback that didn't live up to expectations last year. He was under pressure every snap last year. If Minnesota's offensive line is fixed, this team can be scary good. Remember, last year the defense wore down. On paper, this defense looks like a very elite unit.
Good catch there, Teddy, on the offensive coordinator. But we do have segment number 2, overnight line movers looking in the MLB. We got Sonny Gray opens as a favorite over the Cubs. And I'll tell you, Teddy, this is the one that kind of jumped off the page at me. What the heck is Cincinnati doing favored over the Cubs? Looking a little bit deeper, the offshore markets open -110, rose to -130. Couple reasons why here. Looks like 127 total of 9, Darvish versus Gray, and it might have something to do with Rizzo, Teddy.
Yeah, Rizzo doesn't look like he's going to play for Chicago. And when Anthony Rizzo's bat is missing, the markets will notice that. But this is everything to do with you, Darvish. The markets hate Darvish right now. He leads the majors, 33 walks in 36.2 innings. He went up against the Marlins last time out. Gave up 1 hit and still walked 6 batters in that ballgame. 11 walks, 11 strikeouts in 8 innings this month. He's winless in 2 May starts, a 6.75 ERA. Joe Madden's quote isn't a bet on quote. Quote, it's frustrating for him, of course. We've just got to keep working at it. I don't have any solid answers. He's healthy. The ball's coming out of the hand really well. He's just got to be more consistent in the zone. It's just not that complicated. Of course, if you're betting on Sonny Gray, recognize that he hasn't thrown more than 90 pitches in a game this season, and the Reds are 2-6 in his 8 starts. Although he is getting ground ball outs. The markets always like the pitchers who are getting the ground ball outs as opposed to the fly ball outs.
Teddy, next game up, we got Brewers trying to make it 2 straight versus Philadelphia. Gonzalez grabbing some early action here. Looks like Brewers versus Phillies. Phillies minus 111, total of 9. Gonzalez versus Arrieta. What are you seeing here?
Well, I mean, the markets are loving Gio today, which is something of surprise, and he's been really good. $1.69 ERA in 3 starts so far this season. Pitched into the 6th last time, gave only 2 hits against the Cubs. Here's Craig Counsell, quote, Gonzalez is giving us a chance to win in every start. It feels like he's gotten better, really, as he's taken the ball every 5th day. He's been a big stabilizer. Jake Arrieta coming off a rough outing in Kansas City. The market's not liking him today again either.
Teddy, got one more here. Going to A-Town, the Atlanta Braves versus St. Louis Cardinals. We got the total opening at 9. Jumping to 9.5 here in SunTrust Park. Looks like Braves minus 140 in Atlanta. Total of 9.5 now, pretty much across the board. We got Waka, we got Soroka, 2 guys that have been shaky. Soroka, the Canadian, is a top-notch guy, but he's young, he's volatile. What are you seeing here in this total?
Well, I mean, Soroka's got a $1.21 ERA, but the markets don't like it. He's the numbers are really good, but his xFIP, 3.51, more than 2 runs higher than his ERA. That means the market's expecting a correction. And of course, Waka, I mean, his strikeout rate is down, his fly ball rate is up, and every start he's had this season has produced 9 runs or more. This was the highest scoring game of the day in MLB yesterday. The overcast while Flaherty was still pitching a no-no in the top of the 5th. Of course, he got bombed for 3 in the bottom of the 5th, but the bottom line is we've seen over money. I'm not surprised we've seen over money for this one. Market's not exciting about Waka at all. These are 2 lineups that have the potential to score runs in bunches.
Segment number 3, Teddy covers. We got Watch What You Bet, talking Eastern Conference as it gets underway tonight. We got my favorite team, the Milwaukee Bucks, versus the Toronto Raptors. Looks like Bucks minus 6.5, total at 218. Money line plus 230 on the Raptors, minus 280 on the Bucks. Couple things here. Raptors 44-48 against the number on the season, 10-6 ATS as a dog. We also got on the other side Bucks 55-33 ATS on the season, 46-30 against the spread as a favorite, and 26-17 ATS at home this season. Seeing some over money here. What do you see in game 1 of this series, Teddy?
Well, we're getting a lot of pro Bucks quotes. I'll tell you that much. Giannis, quote, against Boston, you can go down 1-0 and still be fine. But against Toronto, it's hard to be in that spot when you lose the first game at your home. George Hill, who's been a difference maker, an absolute difference maker for the Bucks this postseason. There's that backup point guard spot. The first game against Boston woke us up. We're staying active. We aren't just sitting here waiting. Last time we took advantage of the rest. But this time we're being smart not to over-rest. So, I mean, they're saying the right things in that regard. Raptors coach Nick Nurse has already given us excuses. Quote, it's a totally different style than we've just been through in our last 2 series. Those were set play teams, pretty methodical on offense. They'd come down and run things and run some post-ups and run stuff for certain guys. I'm not saying Milwaukee doesn't do some of that too, but they would much rather spread the floor, give it to a guy, put their head down and take it to the rim, put it in the basket. If you send help, they'll fire it out. They're going to shoot a ton of threes. Kyle Lowry knows what he's going against. They've got a lot of weapons. They're pretty deep, and they shoot the ball as well as anyone. They've got a one-man fast break in Giannis, and they got a point guard, Bledsoe, who's really, really good at physical. They got George Hill coming off the bench and playing. Lowry sounds worried, and this is a Raptors team that's coming off the biggest win in franchise history, a buzzer beater from Kawhi Leonard. You know the celebration was enormous. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen more Bucks money. We've seen a trickle of Bucks money. The sixes that were there yesterday, they're 6.5s today. But there's been enough support for Toronto in the markets to keep this line from moving to 7. I'll give you a hint. None of that Raptors money is mine.
Watch what you bet on the diamond. Talking, can the Rockies take another game in Boston, Teddy? And I'll tell you, that game last night, and that's what scares me about betting minus 200 or higher favorites against teams that can hit, which the Rockies can. And tonight we're seeing Rockies versus Red Sox. Red Sox minus 145 home favorites in Fenway. Total of 9. This is 7:10 Eastern first pitch. A couple stats here in terms of the records, which are similar on both sides. 20-21 for the Rocks, 11-10 on the road. Pretty impressive numbers road-wise for the Rockies, over 500. Red Sox 22-20 on the season, 11-8 in Fenway. We got Marquez, we got Rodriguez, seeing some over money. It is in a hitter's friendly ballpark, 8.5 up to mostly 9s now, Teddy.
Yeah, and I mean, look, last night's game was bizarre in a lot of ways. Rockies went into their game-winning rally in the 11th inning, having struck out 24 times without working a single walk during that span. And yet they won.
That's an MLB record.
Yeah, Bud Black, quote, "This is how our guys are built. The resolve they have over the long haul is really, really good stuff." And then Brandon Workman, he hadn't given up a hit in his last 11 appearances. Gave up the 2-run bomb to Blackman early on. Alex Cora after the game, quote, "It sucks, honestly, but I think we had the right matchups going into that inning. It is what it is. We'll show up tomorrow and go play again." Now, look, they'd won 5 in a row prior to yesterday's games, and Rodriguez has been on a little bit of a roll, coming off a 7-inning scoreless game against the Mariners, 4-0 with a 2.78 ERA during that in his last 6 starts. And it's a Red Sox team that prior to yesterday's loss has been in pretty good form. They've been winning for Rodriguez all year, but Marquez, he's their ace. Last time allowed 10 hits in 5.2, but just gave up 2 runs. He's been pretty good at avoiding the big inning so far this season. And not like Colorado's not winning. They've won 4 of their last 5. A couple of guys real hard, Charlie Blackmon, Nolan Arenado, both on fire in Fenway Park this evening.
Yeah, Teddy, good stuff there. And I believe it was an MLB record in terms of strikeouts without walks last night in that Red Sox-Rocks game. But let's talk one more here on the diamond. We got Padres looking to bounce back from last night's loss to the Dodgers, which was a tough one for me. I was on the Pods plus the points. Paddock just got burnt by the long ball last night, so took the L in that. But we got Padres-Dodgers minus 155 in Dodger Stadium tonight. Total of 7.5. This is a 10:10 Eastern, 7:10 Pacific first pitch. So the nightcap here, we got Padres 22-20 on the season, 12-9 on the road, playing well outside of Petco. Dodgers 28-16, very impressive this year, and an even more impressive, Teddy, 18-6 home record. What are you seeing here as far as the Pods and the Dodgers in this NL West clash?
Well, Kenta Maeda right now is one hurler who season-long numbers are not going to reflect his current form. He's got a 4.03 ERA for his season-long numbers. His current form's unbelievable. Last time out, last 2 starts, he's been dominant. Last time out against the Nats, gave up 1 hit in 6 innings, 6 scoreless innings. Quote, "I had a good feeling on my pitches around the 5th and 6th innings in my outing at San Diego." That was his first outing in May. "The biggest difference was my slider. I had a good feeling on the break, and I was able to carry that over to Friday," which is his last start. Worth noting that Dave Roberts pushed Maeda ahead of Rich Hill, who was originally slated to start in this ballgame. Hill getting an extra day or more's worth of rest. But, Padres lost yesterday. John's been pretty good. I have no issue with him. He's not someone that's going to go 9 innings. They're trying to eat up 4, 5, 6 innings with the guy. And he has a decently hot offense behind him. Manny Machado is on a little bit of a hitting streak, hitting bombs again yesterday. Quote, Andy Green, the Padres manager, he's looked good for a while. He had some really good swings in previous Dodgers series. Overall, he's in a good spot. No surprise here, even though Maeda's been great. I wouldn't be surprised if the Padres give him a battle today.
Teddy, let's talk a little off the mic. Let's head to the golf world. We got PGA Tour returns to Bethpage Black on Thursday. Can Tiger Woods grab his 2nd major in a row? That is the question. Current odds listing Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy at 10-1 favorites. So kind of an open field here with 10-1 for McIlroy and Johnson. Tiger Woods, Brooks Koepka, both listed at 11-1, just right behind him. So interesting there what the odds makers are putting up. We got Tiger Woods and Koepka teeing off at 8:24 a.m. Eastern on Thursday. Teddy, you think Tiger Woods' recent legal issues might have an effect on his play?
I don't think it helps. And of course, he's going at 5:24 a.m. here on the left coast. So good luck waking up to watch him tee off at Beth Page. But look, let's be real. All right. We talked about this prior to the Masters. Tiger's a terrible bet. And then he won the Masters. Okay, great. Congratulations. He's still a terrible bet now. Okay. Hey, yeah, the legal issues, you think that doesn't factor into the equation? It does. It's something in the back of your mind when, oh, by the way, you're getting sued and somebody died because your bar overserved him and, oh, you were drinking with the guy. You know, it's dicey there. But whatever. We're all in weird situations every now and again, but distractions do matter. The bottom line is Tiger found magic at the Masters. Do I trust him again? I do not. I would rather have any of the other favorites on this board before I took Tiger Woods in the PGA Championship. And that's going to wrap it up for the show Wednesday, May 15th. Thank you so much for spending time during your busy day with Drew and I. Drew, what do you say? Should we do it again tomorrow? Absolutely. Right here on that betting show, sportsbookreview.com.